Hello everybody, welcome in. I'm your host Ben, and this is Who's Clues. So last episode's story, titled Fatal Experiment, was set in a cutting-edge research facility. Our victim, Dr. Lane, was discovered in the cold storage room, along with the biological samples for what they were calling Project Genesis. After the detective arrived and progressed through the investigation, we found 5 main suspects. These were Dr. Alex Carter, our victim's protege, Dr. Sophia Kim, a senior researcher, Ethan Reed, the lab technician, Dr. Victor Graves, the rival scientist, and finally Lila Parker, the lab security officer. Now that we're back with the story, let's progress with the reveal. Our detective pieces together evidence, focusing on the keycard log, the bioluminescent trail, and the torn letter. She deduces that the killer planned to steal a critical sample from Project Genesis and confronted Dr. Lane when she tried to stop them. The murderer is revealed to be Dr. Alex Carter. Consumed by frustration over being overshadowed by Dr. Lane, Alex decided to take the sample and publish the findings independently. When Dr. Lane discovered Alex in the cold storage room, an argument ensued, leading to a deadly altercation. Alex staged the scene to look like a botched theft and used Margaret's keycard to cover their tracks. The unauthorized DNA experiment on the broken slide was Alex's secret project, proof of their intent to claim credit for Project Genesis. As Alex is arrested, the remaining staff at the research laboratory are left grappling with consequences of ambition unchecked by ethics. Our detective reflects on the dangers of scientific progress when loyalty and integrity are sacrificed for recognition. The lab's bright future is now clouded by scandal and tragedy, and Project Genesis, once a beacon of hope, is tainted by the murder that shook the scientific world. Fatal Experiment becomes a chilling reminder of how science can create and destroy. So it was the protege, Dr. Alex Carter. I'm wondering if you guys got that one. Also, if you're wondering, Marvel never called me. So yeah. However, this does lead us to our news story, titled Fatal Fandom. Set in the bustling MegaCon universe, the largest Comic-Con in the city, packed with fans in elaborate costumes, vendor booths, and panels featuring industry stars. The highlight of the event is a special midnight screening of the latest superhero movie, Eclipse Rising, set to be introduced by the film's enigmatic director, Logan Pierce. As the lights dim and the audience buzzes with excitement, a scream echoes through the venue. Logan Pierce is found dead in his private green room, slumped over a table covered in promotional materials. His death appears sudden, but it quickly becomes evident that someone at MegaCon wanted him gone. Let's get familiar with our characters. We have our victim, Logan Pierce, the controversial but brilliant director known for his temperamental behaviour and disputes with fans and industry peers. Next up, Logan's assistant, Ivy Moreno, who managed his demanding schedule and bore the brunt of his outbursts. Ivy is loyal, but may have been pushed to her limit. We have Connor Brandit, a rival filmmaker who is attending MegaCon to promote his own project. Connor and Logan have had a history of public feuds over creative differences. We've got Riley Chase, a die-hard fan of the Eclipse franchise, cosplaying as the main character, Eclipse Shadow. Riley has been publicly critical of Logan's creative choices on social media. Next up, we have Lila Trent, a reporter for Fandom Weekly, who was set to interview Logan before his death. Lila has a reputation for digging up dirt on celebrities. And finally, Tyler Novak, the event coordinator, responsible for managing MegaCon's logistics. Tyler had a tense exchange with Logan earlier in the day over last-minute demands. Now, let's get to the events of the evening. Logan Pierce's sudden death shocks MegaCon attendees, and the green room becomes a crime scene. Poison is quickly identified as the cause of death, leading our detective to suspect foul play. With thousands of fans and a handful of key suspects, the convention becomes a high-stakes investigation as the clock ticks towards the midnight screening. Our detective views some of the clues found at the scene. She first notices a half-empty coffee cup found near Logan's body. The cup contains traces of a fast-acting poison. Next, a torn envelope is discovered in Logan's pocket. It contains a threatening note that reads, "Your time is up. The world deserves better." It also seems a ceremonial dagger, which is part of the Eclipse Rising exhibit, is missing and unaccounted for. It was last seen near the green room. It's discovered that a social media post from Riley Chase's account shows a cryptic tweet from her earlier in the day. It reads, "Can't wait to finally confront the man who ruined my favourite hero." Next up, we find Lila Trent's recording device. It's left in the green room, and it captures an argument between Logan and an unidentified person just hours before his death. Our detective checks Tyler Novak's event schedule, and it shows that Logan requested an unscheduled meeting with someone shortly before his death. Our detective then moves to interview each suspect. First up is Ivy. She confesses she was furious with Logan after threatening to fire her earlier in the day, but she insists she didn't kill him. She reveals that Logan had been receiving threats from fans for months. Then we move to Connor. Connor admits he and Logan argued at MegaCon, accusing Logan of stealing ideas for Eclipse Rising. Connor claims he was in the panel during the time of the murder. Then we move to Riley. Riley confesses to writing the threatening note found in Logan's pocket, but insists it was just an expression of frustration. Riley claims they were at the cosplay contest when Logan was poisoned. And Lila admits she planted her recorder in the green room to gather gossip. The recording captures Tyler Novak's voice during an intense argument with Logan, but the context is unclear. Then we finally move to Tyler. Tyler confesses to clashing with Logan over last-minute changes that threw the event into chaos. However, he claims he only wanted to scare Logan into cooperation, not harm him. And this is where we will pause this story. We will reveal it in the next episode. However, let's go back through our characters. Double check who you think it is. First up is Ivy Moreau, the assistant. Could Logan's threats of firing her earlier in the day finally have pushed her over the edge? We also have Connor Brandit, the rival filmmaker. Could he have been pushed too far after arguing with Logan earlier in the day? Or perhaps you think it was Riley Chase, the die-hard fan. She was the one that wrote the threatening note, and she also had that suspicious social media post. Maybe you think it was Lila Trent, the reporter from Fandom Weekly. There's no bigger story than Logan Pierce's death. Or do you think it was our final suspect, Tyler Novak, the event coordinator? His was the voice heard on the recording in the green room. Well, whoever you think it is, we will find out in the next episode. And maybe this is the beginning of an Eclipse Rising franchise being made. Fingers crossed, you never know. Thank you all very much for listening. Goodbye.